This YouTuber just got sued for $7.5 million, and the reason you won't believe. So it recently came out that Bungie, the people that were originally in charge of making the Halo games, plan on suing a Destiny 2 YouTuber for falsely using the DMCA takedown. And this is one of those YouTube stories that you're going to want to watch to the end, because it somehow just keeps crazier and crazier the more you go down the conspiracy hole. It just gets weirder and weirder. I'm taking a look at my analytics, and only like 2% of the people watching this video right now are actually subscribed to the channel. Consider subscribing. It's free and you can always change your mind later. Bungie is suing this Destiny 2 YouTuber who allegedly struck down DMCA takedowns leveled on his account by filing false DMCA claims on Bungie's behalf against other streamers in the studio itself. Bungie's lawsuit was filed in a federal court this Wednesday and seeks at least $7.6 million in damages. So pretty much the whole story on what this happened was there's this Destiny 2 YouTuber that was called Lord Nazo, and he previously had a channel that had other Bungie music uploaded on it, and for whatever reason he thought he was entitled to upload copyrighted music with no problem. He got multiple orders to take down the videos and he still got DMCA struck, and that's when it hit a chord with this guy. He went full supervillain mode, and that's when the trouble really started. So this Lord Nazo guy apparently pretended to be the people that are in charge of Bungie's copyright and that kind of thing, and they fraudulented on YouTube's behalf. So they pretty much went in and pretended to be Bungie's representatives for their copyright, and they struck down over 90 other YouTube videos from other Destiny 2 creators, you know, people this guy's a peer with, and also Bungie's YouTube channel itself. Like, oh my god, I don't know how this was allowed to go through YouTube, considering this guy literally pretended to be Bungie's copyright people, and then he copyright striked Bungie's own YouTube channel. I mean, how did YouTube not notice that was a problem? The takedowns involved videos posted by YouTubers by the name of Biff, who has over almost 1 million subscribers, and Etsy Cross with over 600,000 subscribers, as well as Bungie's own YouTube channel. I mean, I don't know. This is such a crazy story. And Miner's attack sent shockwaves through the Destiny community. Now, I didn't personally hear about it, but apparently a few months back, the entire Destiny community and people who like Bungie as a company were all up in arms because they thought that Bungie's own doing was copyright striking them, and of course they had an uproar against it because they're making content for Destiny. They're pretty much giving Bungie free advertising. So there was this huge hate wave against them until it came out that Bungie's own YouTube videos were getting striked by themselves, quote unquote. But it actually turned out to be this Lord Nazo guy. The complaint said content creators described the chilling effect the false takedowns had on their own work, saying, "I'm scared to make new Destiny videos, let alone keep the ones I've already made up." And that's a big thing. It's hard to change your YouTube channel from content people already know you from, or the algorithm knows you from. So all these Destiny creators that only make Destiny, or majority make Destiny content, I mean, what are they to do? This guy pretty much just stroked down these major videos, and he was a peer. This guy's another YouTuber. And you remember when I mentioned it kept getting crazier the more you go down the conspiracy theory hole? Well, here's the biggest part about it. This guy was literally going in and making Discord group chats with these Destiny creators that he was striking down in the back, the back end. And he was pretty much saying like, oh, this has to be fraud, or, some people are trying to say, well, of course this Lord Nazo guy, maybe he did something wrong, but he's exposing YouTube's horrible copyright claim. And that's completely true. I think one of the big parts of the story is that Bungie's own YouTube videos were getting copyright struck from, Bungie's copyright people, which is just silly, and it shouldn't be allowed to happen on YouTube, and that's ridiculous. And YouTube apparently didn't even get back to Bungie for a couple days, and they had a big problem with it. I think it's absolutely crazy that a company like Bungie, that's worth like hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars, has to go through the same channels that normal YouTubers do to get a hold of YouTube. You know, in a sense, I feel bad for them, especially because it affects them on a much grander scale. I mean, they're suing this Lord Nazo guy for over $7 million in damages, and I think they're very likely to get it because this hurts Bungie's relationship. You know, as much they might think it's over $7 million worth of damages, but yeah, they have to go through the same channels to contact YouTube, and it just wasn't working. So it was reported that 96 times this guy sent a DMCA takedown notice in order to have YouTube instruct innocent creators to delete their Destiny 2 videos or face copyright strikes, disputing Bungie's community of players, streamers, and fans, the complaint says. This caused Bungie significant reputational and economic damage for obvious reasons. And I completely agree with him. I mean, you know what? I do kind of think it's Bungie's fault because they, as far as I know, they didn't address it, or maybe they did and it was just too late. But after they figured out what was going on, people still blamed them. So I think it would have been a lot more... It would have hurt them a lot less if they just came out and it was pretty much like, hey, we're not doing this. And as soon as they found out that, you know, their own videos were getting copyright strike. But, I mean, yeah, this is one of the biggest YouTube lawsuits against a YouTuber, I think, forever. The suit seeks at least $7.6 million or $150,000 for each 51 instances in which allegedly infringed Bungie's restricted copyrights and issuing the false takedown demands. So yeah, that is a big amount of money, and I really think this is Bungie's way of saying, you know, this isn't going to happen again. They're setting an example. $7.6 million. And if you were unaware, I believe they last major lawsuit like this against the YouTuber, the biggest one in history before this one, was against, I don't remember who it was, but it was just over like $1 million. So now that Bungie is suing these guys for over $7 million, it's quite a step up. But I think it's 100% worth it. Back into the rabbit hole, yeah, so this guy was pretty much in these group chats, you know, saying like, oh, you know, pretending to be on these content creators' sides and, you know, saying it was like him. Like, he really thought this guy was like being a supervillain. This is not normal behavior. And I mean, apparently it was all over Bungie saying, hey, you can't have copyrighted Destiny music up on your old YouTube channel. I mean, do you really did this guy really think that, you know, he lost his YouTube channel and that sucks, but I mean, he was warned you can't upload copyrighted material on the channel, and he kept disputing it, and so of course he got taken down. I don't know how big his channel was, but if he was of any size, he probably would have known that this is something that could get your YouTube channel deleted. And so all over this, you know, YouTube channel, and his false understanding that he can't have this music up on his channel, you know, now he's facing a $7 million lawsuit. I mean, for the majority of people, that's just like, it's in, you know, obviously he seems to be a YouTuber, but, you know, so he's making probably decent money, or at least he was, but I don't think anyone's going to trust him or watch him after something like this, or if he even keeps his YouTube channel, which I don't think he should, because he abused copyright so much, and that's against community guidelines. But $7 million he has to pay to Bungie. I mean, for the majority of people, this is a fee that no one will ever pay off. And I mean, it's a great deterrent, though. You know what? It's not like I'm trying to apologize for this guy or say any sympathies. This is 100% makes sense. You know, copyright striking over 90 videos falsely is a crime. It is illegal. I mean, they have to set a precedent that something like this is completely not okay. You know, for other people to continue making Destiny content, it has to be, you know, set in stone that no one should be allowed to falsely, you know, say that you need to take down these videos on Bungie's behalf when it's just some random guy. So yes, I think this was the right call. I was just like, oh my gosh, I'd be very, you know, I don't know what the next move is for this guy. You know, maybe he'll get lucky on a lottery ticket and, you know, make that money back, just because that's probably the only way he'll be able to pay this money off in his lifetime. $150,000 for each instance. Do you guys think this was the right decision on Bungie's side? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.